Yeah, the topic is, are we supposed to talk on Blog Talk Radio? When you listen to the archive, you're going to see I was talking about us and what we were doing, what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your take on that? People saying, oh, this is armchair revolutionary, this is YouTube revolutionary, this is...
Well, see, I think that it's about priorities. It's like you have to get priorities, and you have to also have perspective. Like, I know the main complaint is, well, these people is making all these YouTube videos and nothing's happening. Well, first of all, I would question this whole nothing is happening statement because I don't think that that's correct. I think that each individual will take the information and apply it to their own personal lives. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, their personal lives is not on YouTube. So we can't see how people are taking this information and making changes in their personal life. Because if everybody is sitting back expecting us to, you make a YouTube video and next thing you know, you put it in a microwave and voila, nationhood. That's not the way it happens.
No.
So I'm like, what are you judging what are you judging the impact of these YouTube videos and these blog talk shows on? The only way you can possibly base it is on what is each individual doing. Now, I'll use you as an example. When I listen to your show with Nana Culla, I haven't eaten beef or chicken since that show. And that was what, a year or so ago? Almost 2 years ago.
That was 2009.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
We did that in October 2009.
Now, had you not been on the show talking with Manana Culla and Manana Culla talking about nutrition and talking about health, how the hell would I have known anything, or known the impact of it and decided to make a change in my own personal life? And when I made the personal change in my life, unless I get on YouTube or get on Blog Talk and tell you that, you wouldn't know.
Right. Good point.
So I think, and another thing is, look at what's on YouTube now, and look at what's on Blog Talk now. We have so little people concentrating on African-centered consciousness and African-centered information. Why in the hell would we want to decide that we want to target other people who's actually doing relevant content? Because if let's just say hypothetically that everybody who's doing something relevant or cultural on YouTube takes their videos off, they no longer are YouTube video revolutionaries. They no longer want to put this information out on Blog Talk or YouTube. What is going to be watching? What are we going to be watching when we listen and tune in to Blog Talk and YouTube? We're going to be seeing booty popping videos, a bunch of stupid skits and nonsense that ain't got to do with nothing. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to attack that what is much bigger that you did to people who's doing some conscious and relevant information? It's just, like I said, when it comes to us, we under this magnifying glass. But you can get an endless barrage of ignorance and nobody questions that at all.
Endless.
It's never, nobody ever says, you know what, I'm tired of seeing ignorance. We can just see it, and it's almost like background music to our reality. But let somebody come out doing something that actually says something, and then now all of a sudden all the critique comes out. All of the professors and the scientists come out and want to critique what we're doing.
Right.
So is there some nonsense out there? Is there some people out there that's kicking some shit? Yes, of course there is. But for the most part, I'm not going to be beefing with somebody who's has relevant information, historical information, other than just the accuracy of it. I can talk about what this wasn't accurate or whatever, but at least we're talking about it.
Right.
And I made this point a lot. Everybody says that they got a problem with what we're doing, but the majority and the masses of the people are not listening to us. They listen to Jay-Z and 50 Cent.
Right.
So the little bit that is listening to us, we want to take that away? To me, that's not strategic, and it's actually, to me, maybe people is bigging up Blog Talk and YouTube and Twitter and all of these things bigger than they really are. That's my take on it. It's like, I appreciate the value of your show. I appreciate the value of the shows that I listen to.
Yeah. People have a lot of nerve, you know, and it's the same. You know, even we talked about with the debates. Me personally, if the debates are done in a way where it's productive,
I'm all for
not
it.
Divisive, I'm all for it. To me, and that goes to you know, Sarnetta. You know, it's time for people to start to talk. I'm tired of these guys. I'm tired of people sitting around. You thinking you got the super black man doctrine, or you got the super religion, or you got the super way of life, but you don't want to sit up and be questioned about that. Or someone say, hey, how about this? I think we need to have that, but it needs to have there needs to be a code of ethics in how that's going to be conducted.
And that's the reason why I say we haven't been talking in the real sense of what have conversation and talking is. We haven't been doing it, and people are complaining that we're doing it too much. We haven't even started.
We haven't even started. We've been lectured to. We've been taught, lectured to, told what we should know, what we don't know, but we never got into a conversation. We haven't been in a conversation.
Right.
In all this time.
And there's one other thing that I want to point out that should be fairly obvious, but, you know, if it isn't, I'll you know. We don't have an organized nation. What we have is a bunch of scattered individualists, and we're aligned by basically aesthetic similarity. We look alike, so therefore, you know, we black people in the abstract. But in terms of concrete and tangible nation or an organization or a nation of people, we don't have that. So basically, when you put out information to a scattered group of individualists, isn't it logical that individuals will take that information and do with it what they will?
Right.
Because it's not like you could say, you know, we have a collective where we can judge our progress by. The collective doesn't exist.
Right.
So if we're out there and we see that a collective does not exist and we make a blog talk show stating that sad reality, how is that counterproductive to what it is that we need to do if it doesn't exist? And people want to talk to the so-called revolution in Egypt, nobody just sprung up, got up out of bed and decided they were going to fight the government. It took a lot of talking, a lot of convincing, a lot of people to get to a consensus where they can say, yeah, let's move on this.
Good point. Yeah. That's right. Good point. You know, these things don't happen overnight. But if you're looking for overnight, and that, you know what, that's indicative of this instant gratification society that we've been molded into. We talked about that with the computer. I was talking about the computer. Mm-hmm. You know, we used to press the button and there's the answer.
Right.
I put in what I want to know, and I press enter, and come on, what's up? It's not here yet.
Right. You know, they want that microwave revolution, and it don't go down that way.
That's right.
We have to speak to each other. We got to talk. We got to build. We got to get a consensus because we don't have a consensus. And when you don't have a consensus, you have to talk and communicate so that you can find one. If you want the majority of people to move one way, and I don't know how people expect an action without talk. Got to talk.
Right.
But you can go out in the field and get, you know, why we got to organize? Why don't we just go out there and play the New York Giants? Yeah, let's see how that game's going to go.
Yeah, there has to be some talk. There's going to be talk, and every other organized stuff. When you got, whether it be the NBA, there's going to be some, and before the playoffs, there's going to be some talking. It's not going to be to throw the basketball on the court. Just go have fun, guys.
Mm-hmm. Now, if the point these people who are anti-talk is trying to make is that we are not organizing based on the talk, that's a valid point. But why do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? The one thing, like, how did the talk the reason why we're not organizing? That's not the reason. The reason is because we don't have any networking and solidarity amongst people that's doing the talking.
Right.
You know, that's why I big up other shows and I big up other people who's doing the same thing that I'm doing. I'm not in competition with these brothers. Because whether you listen to me, whether you listen to you, or you listen to Kamal, you listen to Mickey Love, you listen to Ankh, you listen to Queen of Funk, any of these, Holla, any of these people, if you listen to those shows, obviously you're the type of person that we need to be communicating with, and you're the person that needs to be a part of whatever it is that's going on, because not many people is listening to those shows like that.
Right.
Compared to who's listening to Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne.
That's right. And that's why you never heard us come out, and you won't hear us come out against another, whether you have a Moorish slant, whether you have a Nation of Islam slant, whether you have a slant 5%, whatever your slant is, that to me, I take that as that's the lane that you're in.
Right.
We could still drive down the same highway. You just in this particular lane. We're all going in this direction, in the flow of traffic. You know what I mean?
And it's elevation.
Thank you.
It's like we wasn't always on the stuff that we on now. We went through all of those schools and we've elevated and gotten a clearer and more focused vision. That's what happened.
Right.
And we need to stop it with the judgmental crap and this holier-than-thou, self-righteous stuff, and start being, first of all, having a whole lot of understanding toward people that's not at the same level of understanding that we are at. Because can you imagine if the people that before we learned what we knew, if those people that we was listening to took that attitude with us?
Right. That's right. You saying exactly what I said, man. When you listen to you saying exactly what I said. Me walking down, we walking down that track, Boys and Girls track, and Mark, and we're going to all those different booths, and people are selling, and people got books. We're going to every Wednesday to the Slave. Could you imagine if he was like, you know what? Every time I come to the Slave, you brothers don't give me enough money, so sorry, can't make it. These guys are like, listen, just give me. These guys is not only these guys willing to give you. I told them, and this stuff is not for free. This is I'm paying you.
Thank you.
To get the information. I'm paying for you to get the information.
Right.
If that ain't love, I don't know what is.
Thank you. We don't make no money from this. As a matter of fact, we lose money because we give up money just so that the people can get the information. And we ain't doing that for no damn celebrity. Because first of all, if you wanted to be celebrities, we picked a really fucked up route to do it.
Right.
If you want to be a celebrity, be a rapper. You want to be a celebrity, do something ignorant. If you're trying to teach people and give people knowledge, there's no celebrity in that.
That's right. You can be a celebrity. You can manipulate the system like how there's a lot of people in the conscious community that have the information. If they have the desire, they can manipulate this system and manipulate people. We did whole shows on spiritual pimps. Look at the archives. These spiritual pimps are really no different than any one of us on this line right now. The difference is we don't choose to do that.
Right.
These guys is like, oh, this what you like? Okay. You like the black conscious thing? Sure, man, everything that come out my mouth will be black power, and you're going to pay me. I might even trademark black power. Every time you say it, I want something.
And I'll also say this, because I ain't going to go at nobody in particular, because I'm speaking in general, because I just seen this across the board. There's a lot of people that treat this African-centered thing like it's some damn fad. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen a lot of sisters who turn into Queen Hatshepsut with their long flowing locks, and then next thing I know, they got the Susie, the Marlo Thomas fucking perm in their head. 1 minute later. And why? Because they got their little feelings hurt by the conscious community. Let me tell you, this shit ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't built for it.
No.
Me and you been in this game for over 20 years, still going strong. And it ain't no fad for us. It's a way of life for us. So if you this person that thinks that you just gonna come into the conscious community and you're gonna quote a couple of sound bites and think that you got the ability to last. Because I've seen a lot of locks turn into perms and weaves. I've seen a lot of them. You go right back to that bullshit the moment times get harder when you feel that things ain't going quite the way you want it to go. I'm in this for the long haul because ultimately this is about the freedom of our people collectively. And that's not something you could just drop out of.
Right. Oh, no, there's no... I was saying the only thing that can change, like I told them, there is a definite end time for me with Blog Talk Radio. There's a definite. I had that in mind because we talked about that. We talked about the need, and I even expressed I appreciate Blog Talk Radio for having this forum. I can't hate on the forum, but it's time for us to even become in control of our expression even more. Right. You know.
And also on a personal level.
And on a
personal level, like, how long are we going to? It's like if you got your hand and you holding on a person that's hanging over a cliff, and they're not making any attempt to reach up and try to pull themselves up, and you slowly feel your body slipping over that cliff, at some point, either you're going to die with them or you're going to let them go.
Right.
And at some point, you reach that. And it's going to become where we ain't going to be on Blog Talk Radio, we ain't going to be on YouTube, we ain't going to be on Facebook, and we ain't going to be on Twitter. You know where we're going to be? We're going to be collectively together as a family doing stuff on the land, and there ain't going to be no cameras around.
No.
And that's ultimately what this is leading to. So we're not disillusioned. We know exactly we're doing what we can while we can do it, but there's going to come a time where we're going to leave this alone and we're going to start building on all the stuff that we talk about on a personal level. And if the people that listen decided that they didn't want to do it, then they're going to be asked out.
Right.
And that's the way it is.
Sacrifice. And then you said it 100% because it is a sacrifice. I was telling them earlier when I was going on a little rant that me being a family man, this is a tremendous, it's a sacrifice that has to be made. Just like the sacrifice has to be made to take the time out. I don't just come on this show and just freestyle. I really try to prepare for the people. I try to come up with topics and things that I feel is at the pulse of what the people need to know at this particular time in history. And do some research on it and really have something to say and think about what it is I want to say. And so this is not a freestyle event. This is something this is a planned talk. But at the same time, though, there's sacrifice that has to be made. The kids right now, we could be with our children. We could be, our loved one is like. I know my wife gives me the looks like, back on that Blog Talk thing again, huh? But I got to do what I got to do, and she knows that. Right.
And we also need to start acknowledging our victories, as small as they may be, rather than thinking so cryptic all the time. I've known there's about 2 or 3 sisters that I know of who have decided that they're not going to perm their hair anymore and go natural, based on the information that they've heard about. That's a victory. Can we acknowledge that? Could that be put into the action thing that everybody seems to be so amped up about?
Right.
People are making personal changes. People are changing their mentalities. People are making adjustments in their diet. A lot of the stuff that we've talked about in terms of soda and stuff like that, people are taking that information and say, you know what, I'm not going to drink soda no more. That, to me, is a victory.
Of course.
And if we're not talking about this stuff, if we're not talking about it, how the hell is anybody going to find out or even come across some information that's going to go contrary to the mainstream bullshit that they're hearing?
So you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds to me like Paul Albert was talking about the provocateur. That sounds like don't talk about that. I want to put the vibe out that y'all stop talking about that. That's what that sounds like to me. And we all, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, everybody that listens to these shows, you are just as much valuable in this struggle and as a person than I am, and in some cases more so. Because guess what? I do these shows, you do these shows, but you're reaching people every day. You are when you talk to people when we're not on the blogs or that's like we do. You talk to people how you affect people, how your life is the example, the knowledge you have, the books that people see you read, what they see you into, what they see you eating. That's the change right there.
Right.
It's a change right there.
Right.
And
you change the culture too. You change the culture too when you make a change in your personal life. Like,
that's right.
When you disconnect from the matrix on any level, let's say people that's listening to this show right now can make a decision right now that they don't want to drink any more Coke and Pepsi. That is revolutionary.
Right.
You make a decision that you don't want to intake any genetically modified organisms. That's a revolutionary act right there, because now no longer can the system, or better yet, what I just did, get free of debt. When you're not hooked to the system, that is a revolutionary thing, and those are things that everybody should be proud of, and those are accomplishments, and those are victories of this African-centered conscious movement. Now, of course, I'm not satisfied. I want to see us have an organized nation, but you have to acknowledge your victories and you have to acknowledge the progress. We are not wasting our time.
No.
You're not wasting our time, because somebody's listening to us, and I get messages offline all the time. My show is on hiatus right now, and I still have people who send me messages saying, "Thank you, brother, for what you're putting out there." And I don't know what decisions they made in their personal life just based on the information that I put on my show, the information you put on your show. We don't know, but we get an appreciation from them, so obviously we affected them in some way. And that's nothing to be taken lightly.
They are very powerful people. The people that listen to us, I know they're powerful, because, the stuff that we talk about is not being talked about. So the fact that you even are interested in that and have the same kind of like minds like that we do, come on, man. Mm-hmm. You are the anomaly in this matrix.
That's right.
You're somebody that they're like, oh man. And like you said, if you just change your diet, make modifications, change the way you're thinking about a particular issue, where you or say, I didn't see it on that. I do that all the time. Somebody might you might bring something up, or somebody might, I like that. I didn't really see it that way.
Right.
Or I didn't see by seeing it that way, this is what that could mean.
Mhm.
We all building, man, and that's for someone to say that building is irrelevant or building is what do you suggest we do? Strap a bomb to ourselves and go blow some up? I already told them people before your show, you're not going to do none of that. What you're going to do is end up killing and hurting some black person. That's what you're going to do. That's what always happens. You're not going to hurt nobody that you're supposed to hurt, or you think you're supposed to hurt. You're going to end up hurting an innocent black person. That's what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be the case when we always manifest. When we manifest our anger onto the world, it's always on another black person. The system stays in place.
But the bishop, that's when the bishop chip come in. What's my problem? You my problem.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that said, what's the bishop? I'm talking about when Tupac played Bishop in Juice. He ended up flipping on his man. These are people that was his boys. And he ended up trying to murder each and every one of them in this movie.
Yeah.
Each and every one of them tried to murder.
Isn't it funny that when you decide you're going to go off, that you go off on the same people that the system is trying to eliminate? And you don't sense the irony. Nothing just clicks that makes you say, whoa, wait a minute, is this really me?
Right. No.
My interests are the same as the system's interests? Wow, how'd that happen?